we are going to move on from segments for a moment, because maybe if we talk about angles, it will help us prove segments a little better. Taylor, my love, Nakia has the 2 pages that are due tomorrow. Nakia, will you put... And your proofs. There's 3. There's 2 pages and your proofs, but we're going to have time to work on them. If you let me get through this, it's going to be easy. Just let me get through this. Okay, now will you go on to page 16A in your notebook? Just put that under your phone. Put those 2 under your phone. Yep, okay, now go to page 16A. I love that this is going to be the intro to our video. Alright, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody look at the board. Now, why do we know that angle 1 plus angle 2 gives us 180 degrees? It's a linear pair, and we know it's a linear pair because they connect and make a line. Does everybody understand?
Yeah.
And that's why we said that. Then we know that angle 2 is 115, so we plugged that sapsucker in, didn't we? And then we subtracted and we got 65. Was that proof really that difficult? What, baby? All right, number 2. These 2 angles make a right angle because that box right there says that it's a right angle, right? And when you add 2 angles together and it equals 90, those are complementary angles. Is everybody with me on that one? Okay, now where did we get 20 from?
It says angle 2.
Take a point. All right, how did we get 70? Look at you go, take a point. We subtracted. Does everybody see where we are right now? Was that proof really that difficult?
No.
Fantastic. It was difficult?
Oh, no.
Why? Why is that difficult? Because you're lazy? Now, my teaching skills are what? Maybe it's your learning skills. When 28 out of 29 people are on the same, 27 out of 29 people are on the same page on what we just did, I don't think it's my teaching skills, baby cakes. All right, let's look at this one. Why do we add 2 angles together and set it equal to 180?
Because
They are what kind of angles? A linear pair. Take a point if you said linear pair. Eric. Stop. Alright, now we added them together and set it equal to 180. Once we found 30, what did we do with that? We did plug it in to get the angles. Now over here, why did we add all of these up? Why is it equal to 180? It's a linear pair or a linear group because that's really a whole bunch. We'll call that a linear group because we fancy. Are you ready to go to 16B? Now, all we're going to do for 16B is we're going to walk through part of these proofs without using the words, okay? Without using the reasons. We're just going to talk about them. Okay, now, everybody get ready to do this problem. No, we're not dying, you crazy person. Holy cow. Baby, this is on page 16B. Just open the next page.
it's safe to look the same.
What? I have to tell you to do that? Taylor, baby.
I mean, you just switched so fast.
I said let's go to the next page. Okay. Now, the first part, let's let it go. We're going to be Elsa's. The first thing says that A, B, C, this one right here, A, B, C, and C, B, D are complementary. Now, what does it mean if they're complementary? They add up to equal 90. So what we're going to do is we are going to put a box right here. Does everybody agree that those equal 90? Okay. And we got that because it told us that those equal 90. What, baby?
It's alright.
Oh my God. Alright, now, it then says that DBE, which is this one down here, and CBD are a right angle. So we're going to put another box. Look at us. We super fancy.
We got 2 boxes.
Because they are two different angles. Okay. Now, what is it asking us to prove? Alright, now let's talk about what part it's saying. It's wanting ABC, which is this top one, correct? And DBE, which is this bottom one, correct? And it's wanting to say that they're congruent. Now let's talk about why. They're not both 90, but I see where you would get that from. Because we said that the big one right here is 90, correct? And then we said that the other big one is 90, right? But what do both of those big angles have in common? No, look, baby, look at it. No. I just want you to look at this big angle, ABD. Okay? Do you see this angle right here?
Yeah.
All right. Now, do you also see this angle right here, CBE? What do the green one, the big green one? They share. What do they share? What angle do they have in common? CBD, right? And that means you can take that out of both of them. This is equal to itself. So if you take this away from both of them, you only have one amount left over. Does that make sense? If this was 60, okay, and I took this out, all right, let's just look at it right here. If this was 60 degrees and I took it out, what would ABC be? It would be 30. Because this box right here means the whole thing is 90, right? If this baby part right here, or bigger part, is 60, and I take it out, 30 is left over. Now, going by that, it's under that paper. If we have CDE, or CBE rather, it's the whole thing is 90. If I take 60 out, what's left over? 30. So they are congruent. Now what we're going to do is prove it. Are we ready? We can do this. All right, start. It says that angle AB, it says these are complementary and these form a right angle. That's given. Always start with given.
Oh my gosh.
Because of my teaching skills, right? All right, so number one was given to us. Then it says that DBE and CBD are complementary. How do we know that? Because they equal 90. So definition of right angles. What did you put, baby?
I said I put the angle symbol.
Oh, okay. I thought you wrote a different explanation. Now, if we know that we're taking this out, what do these two right here have in common? They have the same thing. So we can take CBD out, right? And smush this together? So if we do that, what property is that called? Transitive. And we're done. Look at that. You just did your whole fancy proof. QED. Let's be Elsa. All right, let's look at the next one. Let's skip that one. Let's look at number 2. No, baby, this is your nose. Let's look at number 2. Now, this says, and again, we're covering up the proof. This says that angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. So what does that mean about the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 2? They add up to equal 180. Now, what else does it tell us in our given?
Angle 1 and 2 form a linear pair. They're 1 and 3 equal 180.
All right, now,
Okay.
it's asking us to prove that 2 and 3 are congruent. Are these two things equal to the same thing?
Yes.
So what would we do with the parts?
Put angle 2.
Could we replace 180 with something? Do they both equal 180?
Yeah.
So could we replace 180 with this?
No.
Yes.
Yes, they're both equal to the same thing. Now, what do they have in common now?
They both have angle 1.
No, right here. What do they have in
They
common?
both angle 1.
Alright, so could we subtract that from both sides?
Yes.
And then the measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle 3? Isn't that what we're trying to prove?
Yes.
So all we have to do is put words to it now. Does everybody understand how we got there? Does it help when we look at it like this first?
Yes.
Alright, now let's put words to it. This is the supplementary angle theorem. So how would we get that? We would use our first thing. And what did we first write down? The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is 180. Now, it says that angle 1 is supplementary to angle 3. We know that by the supplementary angle theorem, which is the same thing right here. And then, since they had 180 in common, all we have to do is say the measure of angle 2 is congruent to the measure of angle 3. And we're done. Now, what is due to me tomorrow? 2.7 and 2.8 practice that looks like this. Baby, I'm going to go back. These are due tomorrow. And what else? The proofs. And if you owe me anything that needs to be signed or anything over here, it's due tomorrow or it's a 0. Do you understand?
So, these two papers.
Oh my gosh. Yes, baby.
One glued in.
No. And the proofs from yesterday. Who is that for?